Well, lots of lefty lunacy outside CPAC, which we'll talk about in a second. But one of the issues which was discussed, which Nigel Farage certainly had an opinion on, Rita and I were discussing it last week, was this question of whether King Charles is going to be woke. How woke will the king be? Nigel Farage was of the opinion that we shouldn't judge him too harshly yet. Hopefully, as James was saying earlier, he will follow his mother's example and not get involved in politics. But we already saw during the week, Rita, that King Charles was chatting to Liz Truss about who would be attending COP27, the next climate change conference. Looks like you're going to win this debate.
Well, yeah, it's taken less than 2 weeks. And Liz Truss has had to, it's been reported, advise King Charles to please stay away from COP27 climate summit.
Get out of Downing Street. Go back to the palace.
And you would think that would be a fairly common sense approach and one she shouldn't even have to make. But there's Tory MPs who are coming out and having a go at her, saying, no, we need him there to lead the way and we should rely on his climate leadership. I mean, they've literally got half the population in energy poverty. They've got so many people who can't afford their bills. They have to put all this compensation to just have people keep the lights on, and yet they are still going down this road. It's
Can I just make one small point on that, though? And I mean, 30 minutes ago, we're talking about how the Republican activists here in Australia are going to make another push to get rid of the monarchy here, put in some bureaucrats' PowerPoint republic over the top of all of us here in Australia, over the top of our parliament. I think we have to be very careful that they do not split Conservatives on this issue and say, look, there's the king being, all environmental and everything like that, because then suddenly the opposition to Republic, starts to fall apart.
One of the reasons why the monarchy has worked for us is because we have had a queen for over 70 years who was apolitical and served her position perfectly. If that is compromised, then why should we do anything to defend a system that's no longer working the way it's supposed to?
What will come next is worse. Because what will come next is worse.
We're not in the game of propping up the monarchy.
In this instance, it's binary. Hey, it's a binary choice. CPAC. So we were there. Fantastic people we all met, and Rita, James and I may have taken 1 or 2 selfies with people yesterday.
1,600.
We enjoyed it very much. Thank you all for all your kind comments and what people said to us about the show and how much they enjoy it. So thank you very much, and how much they enjoy Sky News in general. We've played you a couple of things. There were a couple of rabble-rousers outside the conference. Let's just have a look at one of them.
When people, multicultural, people of all races, of all genders, of all sexual orientations have stood up and drove these pieces of off the streets. Did that, communities of Jewish people, of South Asian people, of people from all over the world gathered multiple times throughout the 20th century to drive the BNP off the streets and tell them that these streets are ours, and if they try and bring racism, they try and bring any kind of oppression to these people, we will beat you off the streets. We will win.
So, Rita, you went out and you mingled with the protesters.
Well, I got as close as I could stand. One of the observations, well, 2 observations, other than them being utterly just...
Well, talking about the BNP, the British National Party, has nothing to do with Australia. They looked that up on Google.
Just clueless, comically clueless, but vile as well. I mean, these are people who are anti-free speech. They want to intimidate ordinary people from attending a conference. But a couple of things I observed. One, most of them wearing masks outdoors in October 2022.
It's because they're good people, Rita. They're good people.
Good people.
They don't want to kill grandma.
2, they screamed a lot about bigotry and racism and refugees and oppressed people being maligned. They were the whitest group of people I think I've ever seen, other than maybe at a green.
And there were counter-protesters too. There was, there was somebody out there holding a sign that said, "I'm trans and I'm conservative."
Yes,
so that's Dana Pham, who is a big friend of this show.
Dana's fantastic. Dana's great. Let's put Nigel Farage up. He went out and saw the protesters as well.
CPAC conference, letting you know that
people
like yourself
and using foul language.
People like yourself
Using foul language.
Racists, Islamophobics, anti-queer.
Is that because you haven't got an argument?
Our argument is that fascists aren't welcome here.
I see.
That's our face
as you're so
here in the
intellectual,
streets.
as you're so intellectual, define a fascist for me.
Far-right scum like yourself, anti-racist,
okay.
anti-queer, people who want to organise as the far-right, people who want to have conferences like this where you can talk about how you're going to smash women's rights.
Oh my God! Probably an honours student at Sydney Uni. I don't know. I mean, seriously.
Did you see anybody there talking about how we're going to smash women's rights? What?
Smash women's. The only people smashing women's rights are the radical trans agenda who want to completely redefine what a woman is. They want to call women who object to their spaces being invaded. They want to call them TERFs and bigots.
As I said last week, if they want to talk about smashing women's rights, why aren't they protesting in front of the Iranian embassy?
Exactly.
And we're going to talk about that soon.
We will. Quickly have a look at Jacinta Price, who spoke yesterday at the CPAC conference.
Nothing told me I had my message any louder or any clearer than seeing that I had effectively managed to crawl right under the skin of Penny Wong. Her bolt from the Senate floor and out the door to avoid following Senate tradition, mind you, as government Senate leader, to shake my First Nations hand and congratulate me on my first speech was a clear indication, I thought.
And I'll play lots more of CPAC during the week on The World According to Rowan Dean, 9 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday.